championship round. That sounds like a win to me. But the car's out on circuit and making their way round for this practice session. Sharp head of Class A and just gives it that bit of extra time lapse. We've got Dave Mooney currently tops the standing one. What is 1.6 seconds? Very fast in a straight line, but only who gets the best setup, especially. And that takes it within 8 now rip their way down Cascade through the Foster's Loop. Lots of smoke, lots of noise. Very impressive. So far in this session, he sits third in the standing. Sitakowski is improved.
one less V6 powered machine there for us. Modifies them and so on, and he uses that specific chassis for last year. Still had this year. Jumped in. It'll still be well into the 4 figures. Some kind of drag event on an unprepped surface specifically, maybe some like air. At which point we'll deploy the full power that's available and also take aero off the phone, right, to maximize that straight Volkov's GTR. That's meant to be kind of a showcase of the kind of thing that so very interesting stuff. Based on where they place on the leaderboard, determined by so we will now see the true pace of our drivers. As they go, the more points they will get. It's pretty simple, really. So it looks like this is approaching the representative pace of these drivers. So it looks like they'll get the top of the leaderboard. Andrew Tharver, Dean Taylor, Steve Hart, Colin Dorward. 11 minutes. Is unique about Time Attack is that you are trying to set as fast a time as you can, while there are multiple drivers trying to do so you have that traffic aspect as well. That performance window where the tires are nice and warm but not overheating. Same goes for brakes, same goes for everything else. You have to get the car in the window operating at its best. Your brain's going to be in that window where it's operating best as well. And you need to find some clear space and modernize a car. Alexander Volkov had, but I'm reasonably confident on some kind of aftermarket headlights with these. 8 minutes and 12. 8.5 minutes remain in this section. Session is classified as point scoring for our drivers. At the end, not heading into his pit garage, but heading what drivers need to do. They get through here at the start of the day, but then what to say? expect a outlap and inlap. Battle resumed for attack 1 very shortly. Running, what spec, how much boost? I think these are very important questions because when everything comes together from the paperwork, it's very fast tested and which track? Related issues that have been holding him back. He's also got a very nice build. He takes every possible option box on that manifold, which means but he ticked them all. He had a problem where he kept punching. And so he kept on breaking and munching these V-bands. Got a nice, shiny, made-to-measure manifold now. The end of that. So yeah, let's see. It looks like it's tubular and equal length and so on, so it'll hopefully sound musically good. I don't think a Z, and I'm allowed to say this as a previous Z20 owner, I don't think they're the nicest sounding engine. I think it's amazing how much a proper manifold can change. I remember reading something on speed. 10.2 seconds. Of course, we are running the layout. Nice little treat. But not today, it seems. Vincent Fan, despite his comfortable 3-second advantage, rejoins the track for more seat time. Ryan Barker sets a personal best, 149.5, moving him 1 spot up the leaderboard into second. find that quite disruptive. But of course, that's all driver is very much track. So yeah, 11 minutes of it. Well, Radu, 7 minutes. I wonder whether my I suspect the time on the remaining session time on the leaderboard of the title didn't quite match. So while our next Attack 1 session gets underway, I did have a quick call here from the circuit by Clay Hill with the Reg FL09 DNN. Is in the way, I'm afraid, of what we're going Honda Civic. Andy York on his return there in Lotus 340R. Already rare enough for the Louis 340 built 26 years ago. Then he also left the factory in a carbon fiber bodywork, and now has a 170 horsepower Rover A-Series engine. So per ton. So you always wonder, is it worth submitting a something to the DVLA? Double kilograms. It's difficult to wrap your head around. I had a very quite a high profile and somebody, a friend of a kilogram Bullet comes into the pit there in the freshly rebuilt Joe 90 Racing Mini, and meanwhile Clive Hopwell in the gold bar. The Clubman battle is another good one, with David Dice scrap so far this year, sometimes going David Dyson's way, sometimes going Clive Hopwell's way. David Dyson this time bringing the big guns with that 911 GT. Brakes are free, suspension is free.
I said you can go and show them, not working, something's happening again.
The Pocket Science 340R in the pits for we have had a few unicorns. We had I'm never quite sure where Cerberus Speed 12.
I want in a minute.
Apparently, but I know that there are some chassis. I think this was meant to be a real chassis, but even the real chassis is, of course, new reproductions of. And I think this company builds new ones, but they haven't. But perhaps
and it got back in, and I went,
half minutes remaining in this session, and begins its next flying lap. That's Jake Langley in the Norfolk & Chance Racing Mini Cooper F Coupe. And Michael Horrocks in the RPKR Lotus 340R joins the track.
yeah. I see fuel's
A
gone
single
down.
round entry though, which means that Michael is not qualifying for championship points. He's not in the running there. The same goes for Andy York. He's a Dean Riley. Clear running. As most things are these days, those are seats. David Dyson left third on the leaderboard and leads his class. Session. And the next car you'll see is exited on full left will be the Luxury Company Honda S2000 Cup. Now speaking of taking over racing Hondas and taking over are coming together to bring you race
racing drivers, and that's being led by current British touring car and British GT drivers, led by senior instructor, British touring car race winner Josh Clubman, is going to be Right, Jenkins in Class A, not as quick as he'd like to be out of the box, flying in It's Fraser McNeil with a 150.6. So Bob Barrett currently showing fifth place with a 152.7. So unless TSL is around it. So he doesn't quite improve this time around. Fraser McNeil still currently pole position. And Bob Barrett is so championship leader into the pit lane. He's only had a couple of laps out to give a lap. He's into the pit lane. The team gets to work. Are they looking at pressures or is there an issue with the car? Fraser McNeil enters the pit lane also. He's currently so contact. He gets himself up into second place with a 150.925. So he's 3/10 away. McNeil and Michael Barrett still seem hopefully that you need to get a lick on, mate. Your championship league is looking to get you currently sitting in fifth. That's not good enough to go out and win championship. He wants to put it on pole. He sets his quickest time on as he goes. So Tommy Knight puts it on pole as it stands with a 150.44. He comes over the line, he's still third in Class B and 10th overall. Chris Booty he's still third. Mike Jacobson, what can he do? He's really down in the boondocks this time around. Here's Fraser McNeil, can he improve? He's currently sat in second place. doesn't. Jenkinson improves, however, and he slots it into 5th. That's better from Jenkinson. His best of the session under 1:51.60. It straight on pole and he's back into the 149s with a 149.602 blistering from the championship leader. So let's see if he keeps that lap time this time around. As at the moment, and he is the only car in this session to get himself into the 49. That is blistering pace. Here comes. And he's damn good. The Bob Barron has been knocked off his perch. He stays on the front row of the grid, but Fraser McNeil crossing the line with his arm out of the window. He tries to shoot the ball. He's triple mechanic, and he Here comes Tommy Knight. Minute to go in the session. That's Andy Barnes.
Something
off of Fraser McNeil. Fraser with blistering pace. Let's see what Bob Barron can respond with this time. They think he goes over the line. He doesn't improve. Bob Barron still stays in the doesn't improve that time around. So check your flag. Gonna be hard to beat, actually. Let's see what Josh Barrett can do.
Second lead.
And NSA anywhere. We've got two of the offenses already. What is that saying? Love Pro, I think, went Alexander Volkov's way so far. I'm expecting a fight to materialize at some point, but so far this man largely Volkov remaining one to watch. Alexander Volkov has not yet set a lap in anger. We just have an outlet inlet from him. We have a
But I do think it's, obviously you can really stretch the legs of that GTR, then it's got the power to do that those extra seconds.
I know it's got a serious weight but the GTR's power advantage, I think, is much higher.
Yeah, but how much it does lose out, so
Josh Barrett with red sheet, no doubt.
down here to our right hand.
Maybe. Do you know, I was thinking it sounded very good, which also...
Yeah, I mean, Luke doesn't have anything to do for this session. He has to run. Because it's such a big lap here, and we can't see what's going on around the other
We did recently have a personal championship for the improved to 121.8.
very close with Caterer. Not improving on his time.
Yeah.
With where it's got and
I think so, yeah, but
I think they found that one of the wheels was buckled, and now what they've done is
Oh, wow.
the handles caught, I think 11 J round, and they've just basically cycled that to the back, taking the back.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, we have definitely seen, I wouldn't present as being side well, I guess he feels as though he's spinning up something.
Well, it's
Yeah.
so it was sleight of hand, definitely. But yeah, it's surely a real challenge.
It's so funny. It reminds me of, I'll just try to explain to our foreign in the US. They get like an MX-5, they get an MR2, they take all the panels off. They have this little chassis left with no panels. This is something that gets hard. Yeah. But I also like it when it happens. Well, a bit more design. Well,
Really rare as well.
so
I mean,
what else is cool is it's so rare. It's not only is it doing time attack, but it's also he's also Volkswagen engine. Wow.
And then yeah, and then just double yourself.
So yeah, David Dyson now the first to dip into the 49. Hepworth.
So interestingly, Adam was supposed to circuit as well, but I didn't realise because I've never driven any of the other circuits. So this is the only circuit he gets previous experience with. So
Bob Barron looks around the outside and Tommy Knight staying holding third with Michael Barron around the outside and David Buki trying to make his way through. He's in 5th place, but it's still side by side for the lead. And I'll tell you what, as they go down into Cascades, this could well be Bob Barron that snatches the lead from Fraser McNeil. He dives down the inside and takes the lead. So Bob Barron is going to lead. He takes the lead from Fraser McNeil as they head through Cascades and up towards the back of the circuit for the first time. Tommy Knight looked dangerous in 3rd place. Looks like Bob Barron has still got Fraser McNeil with him. And in 3rd place, Michael Barron has managed to get past Tommy Knight. So Tommy Knight is now 4th with Dave Buki 5th. They head down to Knickerbrook for the first time hard on the break as they make their way through the Michael Barron from Tommy Knight and Dave Buki's looking to dive down the inside into Old Hall. He has a look. Tommy Knight covers him off. This is going to be a great squabble for third place if this carries on. The 3 cars line astern as they carry on the first lap. As we check back with Class B as well, and it looks like that Lewis Barker has taken the advantage there and got past Rob Boston. He's in 8th place overall, but leading Class B. Rob Boston dropping down to 9th and 2nd in class, with Luke Setikowski in 3rd place. But the battle for 3rd place overall is looking very... Michael Barron keep and hold off Tommy Knight for 3rd place and that final podium position. Tommy Knight is all over the back of him like a bad rash going over Hilltop. Dave Buki just keeping a watching brief in the background. Race to Knickerbrook. Advantage going over the hill. They're going to be side by side down the inside. David Buki's looking to the inside as well. Tommy Knight was looking to get past Michael Barron, but for some reason on the straights, Michael Barron just appeared to have a bit more squirt. Tommy Knight then tucks back into 4th. Dave Buki then settles his 5th, but coming out of Dearly there, it genuinely looked like it was going to be Tommy Knight for 3rd place, but Michael Barron with a Herculean effort there to get himself back into 3rd place. Rob Boston has managed to get past Lewis Barker there for the lead in Class B, and Luke Setikowski is just hanging around. They head down through Britain's over Hilltop. Fraser McNeil has got enough of a gap that he can concentrate on just keeping the pace and potentially bouncing on Bob Barron later in the race. Pressure from David Buki. Michael Barron has pulled a bit of a gap and looks a bit safer in 3rd place this time around. Tommy Knight trying to drive around the new characteristics of his car. Dave Buki hotly pursuing him, and Ryan Jenkinson is in there as well. Don't discount him at this stage. James Alford hanging on to that EG Civic. He takes 7th place, and Rob Boston still in a commanding lead. And meanwhile, we got a squabble at the back, and that is Andy Barnes fighting with Mitchell, who had the drive shaft issues in the qualifying session earlier. And Andy Barnes having a ding-dong battle with him. Still holding off the Knights. Tommy Knight that is. Over Hilltop, the gap has closed, so there's obviously been a bit of a mistake made, and Tommy Knight does around the 20th inch, around the back of the circuit for a shower. So Tommy Knight, in chasing third place, has potentially made a mistake going into Lodge on that final lap. Meanwhile, Rob Boston hotly pursuing James Alford, potentially trying to get the new Class A scrap. So Rob Boston leading Class B again, being hotly pursued by Lewis Barker. So we'll see how that comes out for the Racing Hondas. Back to the leaders, they head their way towards Shell's hairpin. Bob Barron heading up towards Britain's. That gap steadily increasing now, 2.8 seconds there for Bob Barron from Fraser McNeil, but it's that third place battle between Michael Barron, Tommy Knight, Dave Buki. 2 seconds back on that lap, so he hasn't quite got the pace to keep up with it, despite setting his best lap in that previous lap. Down the inside there, having a look, but Tommy Knight takes a wider line. It looks like he has that line covered, but there are areas around the circuit where Tommy Knight looks a lot stronger, and it is between the gap from them. So you've got to wait for that mistake to be made so you can pounce on it, but it's so difficult in these cars, they are so closely matched. And I'll tell you, the other battle to keep an eye on as well is the battle for Class B, the car. Tommy Knight feels like he's dropped 20 quid and picked up sixpence. He was battling for third, he's now down in fifth and battling with the characteristics of that car. Meanwhile, another battle that Luke Sedjakowski, big shout out to him, the head honcho at Tegiwa, third place in Class B, keeping his nose clean in that smashed the fourth place position. That's good, that means the championship point. Championship leader. Last time out, 4.322 seconds. Astounding from here. Fraser McNeil as well, very well driven. Michael Barron, big shout out to him. Some hero in the place today. 5 seconds to go. limit, so even if he does get past Tommy Knight, he has got a 5-second time penalty for track limits. So the car there for the lap now around the back of the circuit, around the lead track currently. Well, Barrowby and wanting to soon all of a sudden this race will be a place to be Tommy Knight has disappeared on the last lap, so I assume the problems he's had images. So that's just opened up things for third place. There's a big gaggle of cars. Meantime, the checkered flag away. Bob Barrett, he takes the win by a country mile from Grace McNeil, our pole sitter. The Celtic K-Swaps duo, they take the win.
Session. So,
Okay.
so very happy to see the Evo of Andy Gallagher back out there again. So, I believe. Somebody else to get the new bit, so fingers crossed it's going to be enough for him to be able to set a good time. As always at time attainment, when you
is enough to restore your faith in like the car scene or like cars in general when they, you know, things getting boring and like sanitized and you see these
but interesting that again when we get to pro, again we're still seeing a lot of these what I would call garden era cars.
yeah,
Still really dominant. So Luke Sedgwick going across the line and set the fastest time out because as we're saying it is a really long lap out here. So for even for your out lap, you're talking 2 minutes to go round before you can get on the line.
precedent from the past. So I think that's allowed. I don't think that's encouraged. That's what we saw. Yeah, that's what we saw.
Very glad to see that back there. Plenty of time but a lot of people that sometimes not earlier in the session.
But what if they were setting up for
They are setting up to go on a huge line there. side, but yeah, so gone into the barrier. Well, it looks like gone into the tyre barrier to me. Always gives me a little bit of anxiety.
Already. Oh look, it's Mike Butler.
What is going?
Mike Butler.
Looks like seeing somebody out of the car, so I'm going to grab dark yellow.
And now a red.
Yeah,
Now a
red.
red flag.
That's going to happen in some, yeah, in something around this corner here. They've only got that space.
Yeah. And you know what? While I was out biking, so even if he weren't to set another lap, then he might just fine anyway. But let's see, it's definitely mixed things up a bit. Yeah, that's a lot of uncertainty now. Three or four hot laps on all that are drivers are going to get. Lap, right?
But what we found very often is that you go out and then, because again it is a long outlet. And again, they will be that first and final lap.
Yeah.
So we'll see as they come back. Capon, I believe, has got on got fresh tyres, I believe. Neil Robson, I believe. But yeah, so a few people running fresh from night.
Yeah. So all the others have only managed one
I mean, it's a nice place to keep already, right? All the bolts that come off his, I believe, intake manifold,
Okay.
and they had actually broken apart. Get them out of the magnet, but we managed to find all of the parts.
I was playing around with the fortune figuring. I think they put this money what is like feel instead of like the Camaro. By Pockwell in the MMT Performance Golf A. Of course, it is early days. 15 minutes still left, and only now the first flying back in comes in. By Pockwell one, and Ian Riley now big throws.
As well, which is back, and those times did manage to set a 1.
Dyson finds a whole bunch of power to jump back to the top of the leaderboard and to the top of Clubman's class. Michael Horan doing really well here. Five there for Michael. Still gearing up kind of first best. Second in PocketRocket actually aspirated.
Interesting, because that's not the fastest time we've seen from the At the moment, we're on 151.839, and yet we did see it on the previous session. That means potentially there's maybe a little bit of an issue, or they're just trying to make some fun tweaks to see if they can get the result. Very reliable all season.
Yeah.
One of the very few, talk to everybody at every round.
At the top of the leaderboard, top of Clubman, and top of the all out of the leaderboard classes. Okay.
So the second.
Sensor 149 timing. He can just do individual good sectors, but not like do the full lap. And he knows what the car is capable of. He's got the option of that and he keeps it in his pocket, and he goes out in super tag and straight goes to the leaderboard. He's at the top of his class as well. We saw Dean Riley typically be the fastest driver overall.
Challenge Ryan Jenkinson for the lead. Bob Barron gets caught up in the schmozzle as well, and Tommy Knight has lost out there. He's down to fifth. The cars make their way down to Cascades, and it's still Ryan Jenkinson leading from Fraser McNeil. A fantastic opening stands up from Ryan Jenkinson. Fraser McNeil is hotly pursuing him as they head down the back straight now towards the Shell hairpin complex. And what about through the island chicane and up over Hilltop? And Fraser McNeil and Ryan Jenkinson still battling for the advantage. Jenkinson's holding out, but he's got Fraser McNeil all over his back. Fraser McNeil has almost got the toe as they head down towards Cascades. Can Fraser McNeil look and get this done the first time around? He's all over the back of Ryan Jenkinson. This battle might just play into James Alford's hands. Dave Bookie in fourth place and Tommy Knight in fifth. Is Tommy Knight nursing that car with the power problems it had still. It was almost like the supercharger belt was slipping on that car. Almost besieged in 5th place. I don't think those gremlins have gone away, sadly, for Tommy Knight. We'll see what happens as they come through, what sort of lap time he produces over the next few laps. A couple of seconds on space to go. Spencer Fortag is leading Class B and 5th overall, leading from Leighton Lewis Barker, who is 3rd place already. An impressive drive from him. Rob Boston 4th place in Class B and Mitchell in 5th. Let's see where the leaders are then. They make their way through Ireland up to Shell. The car so far today, Dave Buki in 4th place is certainly giving him some grief. Covering from Dave Buki. Dave Buki is going to be absolutely seething that he's trying to get past him. But somehow James Alford has the advantage. Spencer Fortag, what a great drive from him so far. He's leading Class B and he's being hotly pursued by Lewis Barker. And Rob Boston has got himself up to, followed by Mitchell and then Barnes. Leighton still well back after the issues he had early on. But we have lost Bob Barron and Tommy Knight, 2 of the front runners in Class A and overall in the racing Hondas. Alford has just about got the straight line advantage against Dave Buki. So if he can hold on to that car and keep their place in the election, not 3 minutes. So a mistake was obviously made at Lodge and just got the drag going up Clay Hill. And Deers Leap, sorry, just got the job done. Getting himself out the way, so James Halford looks to have had an issue. The car's cut out or done something, and it's unfortunately it's just blocked on the wrong way up the pit lane and managed to get himself out. So whatever gremlins James Alford has had, he held on as well as he could, but unfortunately and the question now is, of course, can Dave Buki do what he needs to do and get to the lead gap? He's got about 4 seconds to knock off. Fraser McNeil looks to the outside, and Ryan Jenkinson with a massive save. Unfortunate, but with Fraser McNeil behind, I think there was some arm waving out the window. Is he going to try and give the position back? I don't think there was any malice in the contact. I think what it looked like, Jenkinson did move slightly under braking, certainly from my vantage point in the commentary box.